Team Sonic and Team Rose had arrived at Rail Canyon after they ventured through Casino Park. About time, Knuckles said. I thought we were going to be rolling around forever. His face turned green when he looked like he could throw up, given at any moment after rolling down the bingo table several times. Big felt unfazed by the experience and said, "It felt pretty good." "Easy for you to say," Cosmo muttered. Like Knuckles, she was feeling sick to her stomach. "Come on, guys," Sonic confidently said. "There is no time to stand around. Your bingo ride sickness will wear out momentarily." "Where are we now, Tails?" Amy asked. The young fox took out his Miles electric device and began to examine digitalized map that was displayed on screen. "We are here at Rail Cannon," he explained. "So we need to grind through the rail to the bullet station and bring in the cannon engine down." "We do?" Cream asked. "How did you find out?" In response, Tails took out a piece of paper, and then he began to read it. It read, "Since you have made it down Bullet Station, located at the heart of the rail cannon, all you need to do is shut the base down. The base is northwest of the cannon's engine, just 5 miles away from the process. I am counting on you, Belle." The more the name Belle popped up, the more Sonic's mind raced through. He began to have another flashback of Belle when he was young. He was at the Green Hill Zone with Belle, taking down Eggman's robots one by one. He saw the 4 Motobugs charging at her. "Belle!" Sonic called. "Watch out!" He curled up into a ball and dashed right through them, resulting in their demolition. "You okay, Belle?" Sonic asked. Belle was amazed by the heroic action that the hedgehog took when she did not realize that the more and more Motorbugs were heading straight down towards them. She looked at their orange sting-like tail before turning to the blue hedgehog. She got an idea. "Sonic, hold my tail," she said. At first he thought it was crazy, but when Belle told him that she had an idea, Sonic smirked confidently and grabbed her onto her tail. He yanked onto it, and then Belle's left leg quickly lifted up and out onto the leading Motobug. She then kicked it hard, and it was pushed back with the others that were following until they hit a nearby tree. Once every single robot was taken down, down, of course, Sonic and Belle celebrated their victory. She was jumping up and down so much that a piece of paper fell out of her pocket and onto the ground. Sonic was the first one to notice it. He asked, "Hey, Belle, something fell out of your pocket." "What is it?" Belle then looked down to see where it fell, and then it picked it up, revealing it to be a small photo of herself and a man that looked quite similar to Dr. Eggman. "That's my father," she responded. "His name is Mr. Tinker." Sonic was quite skeptical by the appearance of her father. "Kinda reminds me of Dr. Eggman," he said. "He does look like the doctor." Belle said before coming out of the robot-obsessed scientist. He really loved to fix things. Whenever there was something broken, he could fix it up or make something new. I was his pride of joy. He wanted me to continue building new things and fix what's broken. Several tears began to form in her eyes. She quickly tried to dry them before they could stream down her face. "I just wish she knew somehow I'm here again," she said quietly. Sonic then felt a wave of sympathy for the robot, seeing that Mr. Tinker, an individual, was everything to her. "Belle," he said, "I'm sure he's very proud of you." She then turned to look at the blue hedgehog before saying, "You think so?" He nodded his head and said, "In fact, I know I am." Sonic lifted one of his hands and made it into a fist. Belle looked at him with a slight confusion, indicating that she did not know what Sonic was trying to do. Sonic took one of Belle's hands and told her to make a fist, to which she did. Then he gently placed his fist next to her fist, resulting in a fist bump. Belle then looked at the fist, and then looked at Sonic, who gave her a wink and a thumbs up. She smiled at him in return. The flashback came all of a sudden end when Tails took out his best friend in hopes that he would snap out of it. "Sonic," he said, "you're zoning out again." "Huh? Oh," Sonic said. "Right. Sorry about that." He chuckled in embarrassment, rubbing his head. "You guys been zoning out lately," Amy said, showing concern for her boyfriend once again. "Are you sure you're okay?" Besides, you're not acting like yourself, Lavinia stated, pointing out her brother was zoning out when the more the name Belle came up. It's like you knew this Belle before, Cream added. But how? It was then that the Blue Hedgehog knew he had to tell his friends the truth about Belle. Well, guys, Sonic said, this may come out as a shock to you, but Belle was one of my friends. She was made by this Mr. Tinker. This left everyone else confused. They were unsure of what he meant by it. Mr. Tinker? This was left there. Who is he? Tails asked. He was Eggman before he began to build robots for the sake of his evil schemes, Sonic explained. Belle was Mr. Tinker's daughter, technically, but she is a robot, but she is made for good of anyone and everyone who would meet her. I made friends with Belle after she helped me find my way out of the dark woods. She came along with the earliest adventure when Eggman was plotting to take over the world by creating metallic versions of both animals and humans named Zombots. We worked together by fighting and taking down Eggman's robots every step of the way. We used the Chaos Emeralds to destroy the Zombots and then knocked out his establishment down with the power of teamwork. His friends became more impressed with how Belle gave Blue Hedgehog a helping hand. But this excitement swiftly changed to sorrow. But once we stopped Eggman, Belle and I went our separate ways, he said, and we hadn't seen each other since then. The rest of the gang felt a wave of sorrow for Sonic after having separated from his friend. What was her full name? Cosmo asked. Sonic then closed his eyes and took a deep breath before he could answer the question. Her name was, he said, Belda. Help! Before Sonic could confirm Belle's identity, he was cut off short by two people screaming, Help! What was that? Knuckles demanded. Everyone ran to a nearby railed fence to see two people dangling from one of the platforms, not so far away. One was a chameleon, and one was a cat. Oh my chaos! Lavinia cried. Espio and Katarina! Espio had his hand gripped tightly around onto his kunai knife and was holding to his kitty girlfriend with his other arm. Espio! Katarina cried out. I can't hold on! She then opened her eyes to slightly see that she was about to drop if her boyfriend were to let go of the kunai. She then screamed loudly and held on tight around the chameleon's neck with the best of her abilities, shutting her eyes yet again. I got you, Katarina, Espio said, reassuring his girlfriend. Hang on a little longer. He tried with all his might to hold on to his kunai, but he was beginning to lose his grip. Oh no, Cream said in shock. This is terrible. We better help them, Big suggested. Yeah, and fast, Sonic added. No pun intended, by the way. But Lavinia climbed on top of the fence and used her elastic hair to swing from one of the hooks from the platforms. Lavinia! Tails called out. What are you doing, Lavinia? Amy demanded. She swung from the hook before grinding down the rails that would lead down to the platform where Espio and Katarina were dangling for their dear lives. Not wanting to see her his sister to save their friends on their own, Sonic ran to the rails, starting grinding. Hang on, Veenie! He called out. As quick as the speed of light, Sonic then arrived at the platform where Espio and Katarina were hanging on to their lives. Espio! Katarina! He said, looking up to see Sonic leaning forward towards the platform. Sonic! They said in an illusion. No worries, guys, Sonic stated. Lavinia and I will help you out. He turned to Katarina, who was holding on to her boyfriend. Here, Katarina, take my hand. Katarina nodded in head in agreement and took her brother's hand. With her own hand, Espio let go of his girlfriend after seeing that she got a grip on Sonic's hand. I got you, Katarina, Sonic said, reassuring her. He then pulled her onto the platform, helping her up to safety. No sooner than that, Katarina was saved. She and Sonic had leaned forward to help Espio up as well. Come on, Espio, she said, reached out for her hand to help her boyfriend, who was hanging on to his kunai. He was about to reach out for his girlfriend when he was interrupted, when a voice called out to both Sonic and Lavinia, who had just arrived from their small platform near the end of one of their friends were at. Sonic! Lavinia! Look out! It was Tails. He had told him what he saw the rhino robots grinding down on the rails and what was about fire-spiked cannonball. The rhino shot out a spiked cannonball, sending in Espio's direction. Sonic pulled Katarina back onto the platform safely, whereas Espio let go of the kunai before the cannon could strike. Espio! Katarina cried, fearing for her boyfriend's safety. Lavinia saw the chameleon falling from the medium platform. She quickly wrapped her elastic hair on the hook that was implanted onto the wooden part of the platform and swung down forward to him. Before Espio could meet his demise, he was swiftly rescued by Lavinia. Lavinia! Espio said. No worries, Espio, Lavinia responded. I got you. But suddenly the hook broke off from the small platform, sending both of them falling. However, they had found themselves stopped from falling and rising up in the sky. They looked up to see Rouge the Bat grabbing onto Lavinia's hair. Rouge! Lavinia called out. Hey, Vinny, Rouge greeted her. Long time no see. It was apparent that Rouge saw Lavinia saving a falling Espio on the hook that was about to break away, so she had to swiftly fly her up her hair to save the both of them to safety. She flew them to Sonic and Katarina, who, upon seeing her oldest twin sister saving her boyfriend quickly, ran to her and hugged her. Big sis, she cried. Thank Tekka and Chaos. Hey, little sis, Lavinia said, procrastinating the hug. Thanks for the save, guys, Espio said, all while hugging his girlfriend after she hugged her sister. She was so thankful that her boyfriend was safe at last. That's no problem, Espio, Sonic responded. I had to drop at the last minute, Rouge added. Suddenly another voice is heard. There they are! It was Boken who zipped at the platform, with Boken following them. Espio, Katarina, Charmy called. They were followed by Shadow, Omega, Maria, and Vector, who were grinding the rails that lead to the same platform Espio and Katarina were dangling from. Are you two all right? Maria asked. Yeah, Katarina answered. We were rescued by Sonic and Lavinia. And me, Rouge added, waving slightly in a flirty way. They were soon met with Tails, Knuckles, and Team Rose. What are you guys doing here? Shadow asked. We are on our way to stop Dr. Starline from taking over the Eggman Empire before he could take over the world, Sonic answered. No kidding, Charmy asked. So are we. We're on our way to stop Starline too, Boken said. Not to mention stopping Eggman before whatever the heck he's planning to do. Did Belle tell you guys about this? Tails asked. Yeah, she left us more notes of clues of what we should do, Charmy said. So do you guys know who this Belle is? Victor suspected. I do, Sonic answered. Katarina turned to look at Sonic with disbelief. Who is this Belle person, Sonic? She asked. He then turned to look at Tails, who reassured them with a nod, meaning that he must reveal Belle's identity. He turned to look both at Team Dark and Team Chaotix before saying, Her name is... Back at the cannon's engine core interior, the hologram of Belle came up from a Wave's utility gem. Belle the Tinker, the Swallow said. Belle the Tinker? Jewel repeated. Does that name ring a bell, Styx? Marine asked. That's what she calls herself from these notes she keeps sending us, Styx replied, shrugging her shoulders. Crickety, Marine muttered. So that's where the orange string is from, Storm said. Apparently she was from a cheddar oakwood with the metallurgical endoskeleton to keep her structure aligned, Wave explained. She was created by the ones who goes by the name Mr. Tinker. Whose whereabouts are unknown. It has been believed it disappeared without a trace. Everyone was so speechless that they had no idea what to say. They began to feel sympathetic for Belle, all while wondering why and how she knew about Dr. Starline's motivation.